Boom, boom. Hey, what's up guys, Chris here, and today is the first ever Rainbow Six cinematic on the Filmmaker React series, so I'm pretty pumped about it. As always guys, based on your recommendations, we're gonna react to the cinematic, and in part 2 we're gonna break it down in terms of like some cool filmmaking techniques used, as well as visual effects that we can pull from them. As always guys, make sure to follow me on Instagram for some cool stuff, and when it comes to the game itself, actually my younger brother Jason is quite a big Rainbow Six player. Now the cool thing is, apparently in this one there's like some form of virus kind of like thing going on, like Last of Us, you know, that kind of stuff, which I'm very excited because this actually kind of looks like the Venom thing. Also made me have an idea. How about you guys let me know if you would like me to react to actual film trailers as well, because I know last week Venom 2 trailer came out and some of you guys have told me to react to it, so let me guys know down in the comment section. So with that said, let's fire up YouTube guys, but before we get started, I actually want to talk to you about Skillshare, who has brought you today's episode. Now the cool thing about Skillshare guys is that it enables you to follow your passion, your interest, whatever you're keen on today. It is basically an online platform community, but the epic thing is that every single lesson is created by people who exercise the craft and they actually care. And the sick part is that it's completely ad-free. Now Skillshare has done it once again, and they're offering the first 1,000 of you guys that click the link in the description a full free premium membership for the first month, which means you can sign up for free and start browsing today. And if you know a friend that can also use this, let them know. Now I've used Skillshare in the past, and if you guys are into the things that I am, which is basically filmmaking, I highly suggest courses such as low budget filmmaking, cinematography basics, as well as an edit course depending on your software of choice, whether that is After Effects, Final Cut Pro, whatever it is. So do not miss out the opportunity guys. The first 1,000 of you are gonna get a full premium membership for 1 month completely free. And with that said, let's put this baby on full screen and see what Rainbow Six Extraction is all about. 1, 2, 3, boom. Blood.
I used to feel so much peace staring into the heavens until a piece of it fell.
Is it alien, not virusy?
And the nightmare began. We thought it could be contained.
Yep, definitely. Oh, she got them.
Evolved. So we did too.
One of our own is MIA. I need an extraction team, now!
If there's a way to stop them, you will find it.
This is not what I thought it was gonna be at all.
But I know
Ooh,
you will
ooh.
find me first.
Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six presents. This is sick, man. This is really sick. Let's go, boys and gals. Ooh, it's like spikes. What is that, man? Boom, 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 nice. Let's go. Ooh. This actually reminds me of a movie with Chris Pratt that just came out. It was a bit terrible but cool at the same time. They had those spike things going on. How was it? The Tomorrow War, I think? This is sick, man. Oh, they want to get her back. Oh god, it is like Venom actually. What the? Boom, boom, boom. Wow, that's sick. What the? Booyah! Oh, that's a cool show, right there. Bye bye. Say hello to my little friend. Bye bye. You're alive! Yay!
You are throwing me a party?
Yeah. Too bad you missed all the fireworks.
Oh.
It's Ash. We're not done yet. VIP down.
That was sick. Do we have an after title thing? No. Okay. First of all, let's like the cinematic because that was sick. Like this video as well, guys. It always helps out. When was this? 2020? Oh, this is like quite new. Okay, so oh my god, I'm such a noob, man. Rainbow Six. I'm guessing this is like you know how Call of Duty have like the zombie version of Call of Duty basically? Is this kind of like the same, or is this a storyline that continues on like, you know, like a chapter basically? Because I thought Rainbow Six was like a really cool like you know, like warfare style of like tag team play, you and the team trying to like get stuff done basically, but not with like a fantasy kind of like alien or like virus kind of thing to it. So this is pretty new to me, but I love it. That I would actually, you know, be really into it. I really like Resident Evil and Last of Us and things like that. So this looks really sick, mate. I'm really surprised by it. That was sick. Let me guys know what you thought in the description below. Have you seen this? Are there more trailers out than this? I'm sure you know, there's like a beginning and an end, and this is probably the middle one or something, because that's how we do it. You know, it's like two sides of the coin. One, you can go into something completely like blindfolded and kind of like just experience it, or like have quite a bit of background. This works for me. I really like just like taking it in for the first time and be like, whoa, that's cool. But I also get the fact that I would get more if I like follow the story from the start. But oh well, let's dive right back. I got this. Let's dive right back into it, guys, and talk about some really cool scenes. So, we have the initial kind of like, you know, rating.
I feel so much peace staring into the heavens.
This is a really cool scene, actually. This reminds me of the Uncharted 3, when Nathan Drake fell off the plane and he was wandering around the desert by himself. But I really like her suit, man. It's like very utilitarian, military style, but also a tiny bit futuristic, but not to the extent that you would be like, this is quite far onwards. And I love, of course, the setting, the sun in the background, walking
Until a
around.
piece of it fell.
Sick. I love the shockwave, man, and the transition with the dirt. I've actually done some, not much, but I've done some meteor effects back in the day, and I always love them because they instantly give you the sense of wonder and fear at the same time. So anyways, this really helps kind of like give a kind of like a recap, I'm guessing, of like, you know, something from the sky fell and, you know, everything turned upside down since then. But I love the transition of the dust from the shockwave to the next scene. That's really cool.
And the nightmare began.
This one as well, like the slow motion of like the debris going on and the other people fighting while someone just walks in. And then we can start seeing the alien stuff as well. Another transition there, using foreground elements. This is done quite frequently in the most recent kind of like years. Basically using like foreground elements while the camera moves to transition and bleed them into the next scene. For example, here they use the car to transition to something like a chopper kind of like door. You know what I mean? Or usually you would see this with like having a tree, and the tree becomes a transitional midpoint of two scenes. That is quite easy to do basically when you film two separate things. If this was not CGI and you would do this in real life, right? You would pre-plan the foreground element that we would bleed the two scenes, and then it's all about animating the two different layers of footage with a mask on that foreground element. So you put a mask on your first clip, feather it a tiny value, connect the other one, and then use the whole thing as a motion to bring it in and align it properly within your basically composition. So that's a really cool thing.
Bold. It could be contained.
It makes it a bit more organic than having a direct cut. So now we're revealing that that is basically the city of Chicago.
But it evolved.
And we evolved with it as well.
So we did too.
So we're throwing kind of like to the classic military kind of like stage. I really like the HUD elements. I think they're using yellow really well, because yellow is one of those colors that is not as easily used, but here they're crushing it. I love the yellow, the use of yellow. And of course, when you have a dominant color, for example, the goldish yellow here, you need something from the other spectrum of color to contrast those two colors. And what's better than a nice teal blue? Because if you go more to the orange side than yellow, you would actually deepen the blue as well to have the contrast. Now you can, of course, interplay. There's no like, that's the rule, you know, but usually that's how you play it. It's really cool. Because usually when you go to yellow, you go a bit like more tealish. Or I guess you can do the other thing as well. But basically you need to find a contrast of color. Because if this one was not teal, it was yellow again, or it was red, or it was, I don't know, something else, green I guess, it would not give you the same visual satisfaction. Those color theory goes really deep, man.
I need an extraction team, now!
Cool, let's go. So we have a fast cut of them getting ready with this super cool thing as well, which I'm guessing is like, has been developed for like alien extermination. But it's basically a virus that turns humans into those things, right?
There's a way to stop them.
Even though they turn through, I don't know.
You will find it.
So getting prepped. I'm actually surprised there wasn't that kind of like cool gear up thing. I love those things, they're really cool. So we have the team that's gonna go save. Classic scene actually, blurring it out and making the character walk into the lens and transition to black. That's another very commonly used transition between shots technique, I would say. Oh man, look how disgusting this is. But again, talking about color and merging the discussion from before, here we have quite a bit of red being the dominant color. So as you can see here, a nice contrast will be blue. But this blue is more towards the deeper blue, the warmer blue, I guess, versus the teal, greenish emerald kind of like blue. And that's again for the same reason that I discussed before. You could put a teal blue here as well and it would work, but this is a more classic combo that usually filmmakers and colorists go for.
Who will find me first?
That's actually the most random thing. This is a cool title, man. So what they did is they have the title already like playing through, like you can see the whole thing, but they use spot blur to blur out certain parts of it and then diffracture the blur to nothing to reveal the whole title, and you just have a tiny bit of black particles as well as a tiny zoom, and that's it. But it's a very effective title design, which I thought I would mention. I think that's pretty cool. Boom. Now that the action happens, we can start seeing the camera movement becomes more violent and frantic as we go in. A lot more handheld. Here, as you can see, we have a chopper, and you can see a certain wobble in the camera, and that is trying to imitate the effect that things within the world that move have, basically. So if you have something putting a big thing, the camera should react to it, and that amplifies the effect of that thing. If the camera stays perfectly static, and I've done that mistake myself in God of War Rise of the Sun, for example, because we want to make it look like a camera game, basically how it just floats and nothing impacts it because it's like a camera within the game. But it would really have helped the short film if every punch would affect the camera as well, like Paragon Reloaded, a complete contrast of filmmaking style. So here we can see that as well, basically what happens within the frame in terms of motion, it affects the camera as well.
Let's go.
Boom!
We are already out of the nest. Incoming!
See, we have like, ooh. Let's go. I like muzzle flashes, man. Those muzzle flashes are good. I've talked about muzzle flashes so many times actually in the channel, but what's one more time? Basically, guys, in order to pull off muzzle flash, you need the following things. you need the gun prop. You need the gun prop, like this for example. This is an airsoft. Basically, it's using gas to propel the slide backwards. The more realistic the gun, the better it's gonna look. And then, once the actor pulls basically the trigger, the slide is gonna come back, right? But the moment that happens, you start putting visual effects in. The first visual effect is basically to have an asset that's a flare. If I go one frame forward, this would be the asset. All you need to do is place the asset in the barrel of the gun, and then you have that. But the thing that really sells it are two more things visually. One is the effect of the muzzle flash to the environment. So now, the muzzle flash is going to be CGI, but you can see, even though this is animation, you can do the same thing in film. Look how it illuminates the gun and part of her as well. You can see this. That is the second thing that you need to do when you're composing muzzle flash visual effects. And the third thing is to have the bullet shell eject. Now lastly, sound will really sell the whole thing. If you don't have a good sound design when it comes to gun effects or anything really, it's not going to help you pull the effect off. Now, when you bring all of those elements together, that's when you have a really cool, impactful gunshot design. Oh man, have you guys seen the movie I was mentioning while watching this? Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt. This really reminds me of those Spike monster things. I actually thought the movie had quite a bit of like... I like the world basically, and the monsters were really cool. The movie I felt personally fell short in terms of script. There were some really moments I was like, oh, really? But you know, I think they might make another one, but I'm not sure if I remember the news correctly. Anyways, that's what it reminds me of those Spike things. But again, from what I can tell, these are basically humans that have been infected, and that's how they turn to this. What is that? It's like such a cool kind of like shockwave moment. It's like, look, see, it flares up and then sends that kind of like cool shockwave off. And again, do you see how the camera reacts to the impact of the shockwave instead of staying static? That really helps amplify the motion. Boom, boom, boom. I also like this. This is kind of like breaking the third wall kind of thing. Basically, when you have a guy shooting something or chopping something or anything really, but the splatter of that thing actually sticks to the lens, that's kind of breaking the fourth wall in the sense that there's supposedly no lens there for that thing to splatter on, but they do it anyways just to be like, you know what I mean? It's a very interesting thing because if you think about it, it should pull us out of it, but at the same time we feel a bit nice because like, oh yeah, it's as if I'm there and like it's a splatter me, you know? It's a very interesting thing. I personally haven't used it yet, but who knows? Slow motion. We talked about this as well. Use slow motion in specific action moments to expand time and the awesomeness of the scene, but don't overdo it. Boom! Again, another super cool shockwave. Ooh, that is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Okay, let's move up.
I like the little guts as well, which I'm guessing you use exactly in the game. So they're doing this search thing. I know where to go.
I found her.
That liquid looking thing, it really reminds me of Venom, man. I'm surprised it's alive. This reminds me of like Aliens as well. You know, in the Alien movies, they're starting being covered on that. Any Alien movie, I guess, ever is like that slimy, gooey, like cocoon kind of thing. Like, ooh. I wouldn't want to be there. But I do have a question for you guys that I've asked my friends. Would you prefer to be involved in, because you don't have a choice, in a zombie apocalypse, World War III, or alien invasion? Let me know down in the comment section below. Now, personally, I would prefer alien invasion because I would like to have the guns and shoot aliens that I don't care for and kill as many as I can. Versus zombies, and you can be, your friends, family can be like that, or like World War III, which is basically humans versus humans. Not a cool thing. So aliens. That almost fell. really close to something that could really hurt. That's all I'm gonna say, so I'm happy it didn't happen. But aliens, shoot them, because they want to get to Earth all day. That is really cool though, man. How did they just like manifest through that goo? Oh, it almost reminded, oh my god, what was it? Terminator Genesis, the latest one with Arnie, like Arnie's last Terminator, which I know most of you, including myself, were not like that, you know, oh my god, it was not the next Terminator 2, but it reminds me of the effect of the Terminator that had the particles and would like force the particles to like form himself versus the skeleton version of himself. That is a really cool thing. More action. Go, boy! That is cool. That is a really cool thing. Boom! Electro. If you would do this in After Effects, it's basically just like animating electricity, because it's one of those effects that you can animate or like emulate, I guess, within After Effects versus something far more complex that would require 3D software and like animators and physicists and like all skin simulation, liquid simulation, all that stuff. The cool trick about lightning is the glow effects. And again, if you notice, it was yellow, just as they're like clothes and things like this. Color always plays a key character itself when it comes to the world building, basically. Go to the exit, we have the final kind of like boss fight, and it looks like a mother. Got you, YouTube. You think? Oh, I would really love to have a dual katanas and just chop the F out of those things. In VR as well. Boom! Let's go! Oof. Let's talk about the shockwave, because I think this is the third time it's taking place. So shockwaves are one of my favorite things actually. I used one again in Paragon Reloaded. It was way more stylized, but I like the simplicity of this one. Basically there's a tiny bit of a flare explosion and then the shockwave stuff happens. Interestingly enough, they've also incorporated like an RGB split within the shockwave. Then it expands, we have a lot of particles going on. We have the shockwave, as well as that really camera shake as well, and boom, it dissipates. This is a classic shot as well, and actually I think it's a... Is it? Yeah, I knew it. I knew it was a cut, man, but it's hidden really well. So we have the move of throwing it, and then it cuts to the grenade itself. Now, in order to do the shot, it would be really hard to try and like film it in real life. So what most people do is, it's animated, it's basically shot in real life, but then the asset is composed in by being a 3D rendered asset and following the camera trajectory. I will try to do this in camera because I don't have the budget for those things, but just... Ooh. Let's go. Come on. Was it the title here? No, we have the others, yeah. You know what? It has a cool stylistic like art style, the whole thing. But this one actually looks really cool, man. Like the texture and everything when the eye opens and how it moves. Oh man, that is really even like the tiny little hair and stuff in the pores. That is sick, man. The music is way more uplifting now. You know, they saved her, or may I dare say, extracted her. That is really cool. Excellent, mate. I really enjoyed the cinematic. Let me know, guys, know if you want me to react to, if you want us basically to react to more Rainbow Six cinematics, and it would be fantastic if you can give me the sequence, because I usually do try if there's like a specific way to tackle them, to go based on your guys' recommendations, and that is it. Let me guys know also about maybe reacting to film trailers like Venom. I think that would be sick, and I'll catch you guys on next one. Check out Skillshare, first 1,000 of you guys, free premium membership for 1 month. Or if you know a friend, do not let them miss out, and I'll catch you on the next one. Until then, stay awesome and creative.